My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So this is a pre-record. Wednesday should be a pre-record every week. Wednesday is the day I have the, I think on YouTube, Rumble in general, I get the lowest traction, right? Wednesday, people just are not interested in listening. I guess I did a couple of hour live stream or work, but you know, I got really sick a couple of months ago and I had to take a backward step from like all the streaming I was doing, which was basically, it was every day. It was every day for a couple of months. And that just wiped me out. So I'm backtracking from that bit. Anyway, by the time you watch this, I'll be a good 2 hours, hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes into Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Can't wait, right? Can't wait. I am so freaking excited to see that movie. So, and then, you know, I would do the review on my Thursday stream. Can't do a Thursday stream this week. That's also going to be a pre-record as long as I have time to do a pre-record. Because then my son just got engaged, and like the whole like religious Jewish thing is different from like, you know, the normal world, right? So yeah, firstly, I haven't asked, right? I haven't asked, but I think they're both, you know, going into marriage unsullied. That's you know, the only way I think I can say it without getting into a lot of trouble, right? Going in untouched. So, you know, I'm just excited for him, to be honest with you, because I just think that's a great foundation for a good life. And I know it's like, for normal people, like I was one of you too at one point, like being a virgin after the age of like 20 or whatever, they're like, oh, it's crazy. Being a virgin going to marry, it's something you can't even relate to, right? I just think it's a better way to live, right? I really do. I think they're going to have a much happier life for it. Anyway, I digress. So on Thursday, we're having a big dinner with my future in-laws, right? So that's going down. So will not be able to stream Thursday. It will be a pre-record. I'll do a spoiler-free review, I think, of Mission Impossible. And I also got SFX magazine to review it. Look, there's always stuff. Like I just pulled up a bunch of stuff we're going to go over today. There's always just too much stuff to talk about, right? There really is. There really is. Like, as in, you know, right now. Also, I'm lucky I kept my Rumble channel. Oh my God, did I screw up big time, right? So when I did my Indiana Jones review, I wanted screen grab, so I downloaded the bootleg, one of the bootlegs that was online, to grab the screen grabs from, right? So, okay. You know, I felt like I paid for a ticket to see it. It's fine, whatever. It's, you know, I certainly wasn't getting any enjoyment out of it. So, anyway, I had a follow-up video that I put on my Rumble channel yesterday. That I was, you know, to upload. It's like 16, 17 minutes. It wasn't a long video. I looked at it this morning, and it had 2 views, which scared me. But I saw the video was 2.5 hours long, 2 hours 23 minutes. I'm like, how could that be? So I looked at it. I clicked it. It was the full bootleg I uploaded to my Rumble chat, like the full thing, like copyright violation that you know, beyond compare. And thank God no one noticed, right? I deleted it straight away, as we say in the Jewish world. Oy vey! Oy vey's mir. That would really piss me off because I really like Rumble, right? Oh, I just can't believe nobody noticed it. So good news there. Can't you like, share, subscribe? All those things are fan-freaking-tastic. I am very grateful for you all liking, sharing, and subscribing. That'll be great. Again, especially on Rumble. Rumble does me proud. Fine. So we're got a whole bunch of news to go over. We're going to start with a story that I started to talk about last night on my live. In fact, I did talk about quite extensively, but it's growing in notoriety. So, you know, a mistake I make often is reporting the news too quickly. And so by the time I've covered it, it's before it became big news. So now it's grown quite a bit more. Is it going to die out or not? I don't know. But, you know, only time will tell, mate, right? Only time will tell. So let's start over here. Because the trans movement, that trans movement that we all love and isn't annoying anyone, right? Isn't constantly lecturing us. Oh, they're so annoying. And I think I finally worked out what this trans genocide is they're talking about, because there isn't one, right? They'll say, oh, men want to kill me. No, I know. I think it's if you don't believe that people with penises are women, right? That's what they consider look, live and let live. I might be wrong, right? I might be wrong. I don't think you're women, right? I don't think you're women if you have a dick. That's just, I mean, I'm not counting the small amount of people who are intersex, which is like 1 in 15 billion every 1,000 years. I mean, some ridiculous low number, right? No, generally speaking, I believe if you have a dick, you're a little boy. If you have a vagina, you're a girl, right? That's just where I believe. And I just that I don't believe in the divinity of Islam and Muhammad, and I don't want to denigrate any Muslims watching. I just it's not my bag, man, right? It's not my bag, right? So, but they take it as this assault on trans life in general. So David Tennant, God bless him, the trans world has given him his favorite thing in the world, saying that he loves more than anything else, and we love David Tennant, right? I love him in everything I see him. I love him around the world in 80 days. I really do. I genuinely think he's charming. He's entertaining. I liked him in Doctor Who. I thought all that stuff was great, right? But he's an insufferable prick as well. I mean, David, you're just a relentlessly insufferable prick. That I can't stand socialists who are also billionaires, right? Or millionaires in this case. Like champagne socialists. You're not a socialist, you moron. You're not, right? While you are hoarding your money, you are not a socialist, right? But he likes the virtue signal, right? Because he's an actor. Listen, don't take actors as like people who you should follow, right? Sometimes you get good actors who think about things, think about people, think about how people work. But basically, they're all very vain pricks, right? Very vain pricks that like to virtue signal a lot because they just love the virtue because they normally have very little virtue. So David Tennant, schmuck that he is, while launching Good Omens 2, wore this was an unapproved t-shirt. Now what did this unapproved t-shirt say? Let's have a look. We'll see it better on the twat. Leave trans kids alone, you absolute freaks. Look, David, mate, you are, and I know you idiots on the left, you like to use the phrase wrong side of history, right? Yeah, we're all through the Trump years. On the wrong side of history. History didn't really bear you out, did it? Like, the life under Trump was a gazillion times better than it is now, right? And that's just called math. It was way better than it is now. Now, this is going out on July 12th, right? I heard on the news last night that the BRICS nations, that's, was it Brazil, Russia, China, South Africa, all the friendly ones, they're starting in August their own gold-backed currency, right? So who cares? What does that? What's the difference with that? It's that it will stop the dollar being the reserve currency, which will absolutely destroy the life as we know it. I mean, it really will. I live in Israel. The shekel is a dollar-backed economy. Same too in Great Britain for a large extent. The sterling is very dependent on the fate of the dollar. Right, they're very, very, very entwined, and the dollar, if you're lucky, when this new currency come out, will fall about 50%, probably close to 80%. I mean, it might go really down and then bounce up and back again, but it's like almost certainly going to bring on like rationing and a Great Depression type of poverty that we haven't seen in the world for many years, right? So, you banged on about being on the wrong side of history. Dude, you're on the wrong side of history, okay? You are on the wrong side of history, and especially with this thing. Leave trans kids alone. So look, David, mate, couple of things that I think you need to understand. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? But this is how I understand it, the science. That the data says 60 to 92%, I think it's close to the 92%, of children that express gender dysphoria, feel they're not in their body they were born into, desist of that if they don't receive gender-affirming care. So you might go, oh my God, well, we got to give them gender-affirming care, otherwise they'll desist. No, what does desist mean? Desist means they grow out of it. They go, yeah. If they say a boy's running around saying he's a little girl, right? They grow out of it, which is very, very normal, right? They grow out and they go on to live normal, healthy, sexually mainstream lives, right? If you get gender affirming care, then your life gets flushed down the toilet, right? It's again, and if you can't consent to sex, how can you consent to having your sex changed, right? So, and to really get down to how evil this is, it's firstly all these treatments and surgery sterilize the people involved, and I'm sorry, having children is a fundamental function in life, right? It's a fundamental part in making you into a good, well-rounded human being. Like, look, my son is just engaged. I really have so much respect for him. He is a really together guy. He's very smart, very, very, very driven. Good, good personality, good morals. But boy, he doesn't understand the concept, the Jewish concept of chesed, which is loving kindness. And he's not he doesn't understand the need to do that, to exude that to the world around you, right? And you make that into a better world, into a better place. When will he understand that? Through having children. Because that's really what one of the things children do for you, right? If you're up at 3 a.m, you can hardly think, feeding the baby, that's you putting something ahead of you, and you do that constantly for years, for decades. It changes you, and it grows good people, right? So robbing anybody of that is evil. But it gets even worse, right? It gets even worse. Boys, I believe, for transgender surgery, they have their penis removed, which is where you get your sexual pleasure from. I'm not sure if you noticed it, but yes, there's a lot that comes out from that. There's hours of fun. I would say maybe years, maybe decades of fun to be had with your John Thomas, right? There's a lot of very, very, very good sensations there. So they whip that off, and so you're never going to achieve sexual satisfaction because they cut that off, and then they make a little pouch in your pelvis that somebody could have sex with, and you can pretend to be a girl, but there's no feeling there. So you're depriving somebody of having children and sexual satisfaction, right? Of somebody having an orgasm. I don't think you can consent to having those things ripped away from you if you can't consent to having sex. And I think the end goal is we shouldn't have children consent to having sex. David Tennant is probably one of the same people who said there's a movie out called The Sound of Freedom, which highlights child trafficking, which is horrendous and horrific, right? And the David Tennant's of the world, again, I haven't heard him speak about this, but the camp that he very clearly puts himself in with this annoying T-shirt says that, no, that's just QAnon fantasy. Okay, if you're coming out against awareness about child sex trafficking, which it's rivaling the drug trade now in trafficking. It's horrendous, right? I can't believe there's so many pedophiles out there. I guess they're normally all clumped around the entertainment industry and government, but there's so many. Anyway, leave trans kids alone, you absolute freak. Excuse me. Why are you calling probably 80 to 90% of your audience absolute freaks, David Tennant? So you can virtue signal? It's so this brings me to this. Doctor Who, Billy Who, whatever his name is, said, when Graham Liddon pointed out, said, disgusting, ignorant, and reckless David Tennant. I agree with you. I do agree with you. And the quote was FFS, for fuck that, yeah. So then, yeah, this idiot represents, this idiot child represents the mainstream of these idiot children who live in a bubble. They don't understand. They are a teeny tiny demographic, right? And they get to feel big because they live on Twitter in their teeny tiny bubble, right? Lo, try to cancel David Tennant. Not a chance in hell. He's literally a national treasure. I agree with you completely, right? I agree that he is, I would say, impossible to bring down by cancelling, all because he supports the LGBT community. He doesn't. Let me tell you, this push to sexualize children doesn't protect or support the LGBTQIA+, right? It doesn't at all. It endangers them in a way that they haven't been. And look, I'm a Bible thumper, right? I think same-sex relations is something that God says is bad for you, and I'm not going to denigrate anybody for doing that, right? I mean, look, you can't really fight against somebody's sex drive. That's insane. But I want you to know the context of that, and even the context of that, I also think people should be able to live and be free. And I don't know I'm right? I just like that. That's my my Bible thumping worldview. The danger the gay world is in right now, I could see. I mean, I would imagine 10 years from now, gay marriage wouldn't be no more because of this, because of things like this. Maybe same-sex relations may be illegal again, and I want you. And I'm not saying that with glee. Okay, well, hey, I'm not. I'm really not. I like that people were able to be free, right, and people be able to do things that my moral system doesn't converge with, because again, we live in a world of a myriad of people, with a myriad of ideas, right? I think it's better that way, right? I think it's better to have people you don't agree with. Your life becomes more enriched that way. It's better, right? And I am genuinely fearful for the gay world, for this, the ramifications, the results of this sexualization of children, right? Which we see across the bloody board at the same time, and the same people saying, oh no, don't worry about that movie about trafficking. So, yeah, you're right, Willie Who, right? Not a chance in hell. He's literally a national treasure. Listen, there are... I can't remember who was this. I remember when I was in rabbinical seminary, right? I think it was the Rosh Hashiva, the Rabbi Noach Weinberg, was talking about the Titanic, right? And he said, a God-fearing person, what would they do when they heard the captain of the Titanic say, God himself could not sink this ship? And boy, did they all believe it, right? Did they all believe it? Like, completely unsinkable, right? It sunk, right? And I think it sunk because God himself could do that. Not a chance in hell, but a chance in heaven. Honestly, I think this could really, really bring him down. I think this could bring down the new era of Doctor Who, and I think it might well do, right? I think they might have to... the cultural currents are shifting very, very quickly. And if we do experience an economic collapse starting in August, which we're going to, unless, the Ukraine conflict escalates to something nuclear, which I think is the only real option of the West right now, right, to stop this BRICS currency. Everything's going to change, right? Everything's going to change. I think Disney's on the verge of collapse as it is. I mean, how many of these huge, massive flops can they have, right? I think they're on the verge of collapse. Let's say Disney gets broken up, and they get devalued, they get broken up, and whoever ends up with Disney Plus will say, yeah, no, we don't want any of this thing that the audience just doesn't like, and they don't like it. The data's there, right? The Bud Light boycott changed the world, right? Absolutely changed the world, and made things very different. So, pride comes before a fall, Willie Who. That's what I'm saying. Pride comes before a fall, and boy, I think that fall is going to be very, very, very far. Fine, so this is the, sorry, I didn't manage to get to last night on my live stream. Ncuti Gatwa's interview, and I see they're plundering that today for quotes. So let's have a look what he has said. I mean, I'll have to tell you, he's looking a bit like Zoolander, right? He's looking a bit like a Ponzi model. Yeah, Ncuti, I was so on board for your casting. I thought you'll be great, right? I am now... I'm going to be surprised, right? I'm going to be surprised if this is good, right? And I'm sad we're at that point. So, Ncuti Gatwa on Doctor Who, the Doctor is me. Okay. As he says goodbye to sex education, makes Hollywood debut in Barbie. I wonder if that's going to be A, successful, and B, good. It's talking a lot about gender. Oh, where can let me find it? I was something bounding into comics this morning about it. I mean, Simu Liu, he's the guy who starred in the first massively failed Marvel movie, right? Shang-Chi. Barbie star Simu Liu says film puts the final nail in the coffin that very heteronormative idea of what gender is. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, you moron. If it tries, I think it will fail. Now, here's the thing, though. Will this flop as well? Oh, you see a bit shooty in the background there. Will this flop as well? Because every girl wants to go and see this movie. So I don't know. It'll be word of mouth really is everything, right? That's why did Indie tank? Word of mouth. Why does Sound of Freedom do very well? Word of mouth. And I think why is Mission Impossible going to do well? Hopefully word of mouth. What they the mainstream media, the legacy media, the Democrats, the leftists, anybody in that world are going to trash Mission Impossible because they want to say this is a trend. They want to say, Indiana Jones is just a normal trend. It's not that people found this obnoxious shite, right? Including the people who watched it on my Rumble channel last night. I can't believe I did that. I'm just like in shock that I did that. And I was up for 16 hours. And I didn't get zapped. Amazingly, right? Absolutely amazingly. It's a very, very hot day. The first of the year. We spent the whole afternoon in the studio in north of King's Cross, London, fanning ourselves and drinking water to stop us overheating. That's why people normally drink water, right? I mean, you might have a bat suit in a pill form, like if you're like the Adam West Batman. Was that the movie where he asked for a hot cup of water and he had a little pill with his bat costume in it, and it was Bruce Wayne? I don't know. So I miss Batman like that. I want to have Bat Dog and Batmite, right? I like live action. That make it fun. I don't know. Make it fun. This is Ncuti Gatwa's big moment. He's been striking poses for Rolling Stone UK cover shoot. I've been sitting with him in a corner, watching and feeling feeling a little voyeuristic. Well, you should do. It's always interesting to witness an artist interacting with people working around them. It reveals so much. Gatwa is clearly excited to be here. He buzzes with energy when he chats to the photographer. He go to the glam team. Okay, after the shoot, here's wrapped to me. After the shoot was wrapped to me, top of my list of questions, we're here to talk about Doctor Who. Gatwa was announced as the new incarnation of the iconic character last year, and again, so excited at the time, so not now. Although the show's upcoming stories are closely guarded secret, I was able to glean some interesting tidbits from the new star. My Doctor is emotionally vulnerable. Now, I have to tell you, 8 months ago, I would be like, well, that's very interesting. I'm very excited about that. Now I'm like, I don't bloody know. Have we had an most emotionally vulnerable one would be Peter Capaldi, maybe. He wore his heart on his sleeve, but he didn't know he was emotionally vulnerable, which made him interesting. Peter Davison. Paul McGann to a certain extent. I mean, certainly not William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, no, Tom Baker, no, not Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy. I guess Eccleston was, because he was a wreck, right? He was a PTSD doctor. Matt Smith, not really emotionally. I mean, like the most emotionally vulnerable that Pertwee got was silently driving away at the end of the Green Death. That was it, right? So. And Jodie Whittaker, even though I don't think of her as a doctor, was completely emotionally vulnerable, right? Completely and totally emotionally vulnerable. He hides it with humor, but he's lonely. Okay, I can't say much. Gatwa says the full-time reinvention of the ever-changing Doctor. I can't say much more than that, but I don't want to spoil anything, but it's also energetic. Poor cameraman struggled to keep up. Well, that's what I hear. They had to have drones to keep up with his performance. I just hope it's not shit, right? I mean, like, I'm looking at these pictures over here. I'm like, they don't fill me with confidence. I mean, you like what you're wearing and what you're doing, right? Yeah. I mean, like, none of this is filling me with confidence, right? Again, very, very Zoolander feel, right? Get a very Zoolander feel from all these things. To hear the story of his casting, it almost sounds like it was a granted wish. One day he emailed his agent saying he wanted to play a role like Willy Wonka or the Doctor, and just a week later he was asked to audition for the part of the Time Lord. I get good timing, right? So, I don't know. Again, listen, this is my Bible-thumping worldview. I think God is connected to everything, because I think God is infinite. There is no end or beginning to God. I mean, he's connected to everything, all events simultaneously, right? So it seems like God wanted him to be cast as Doctor Who, which, I don't know, I hope so. I hope that's good news, right? I hope that's good news. To prepare, Gatwa spent a week watching every Doctor Who episode since 2005. Maybe we should watch some classic. Although he did enjoy the show previously, he never considered himself a habitual fan. He emerged from the binge watch a die-hard Whovian. Why aren't you speaking more about this, Ncuti? Right? This is a story we all, as fans, should know. Right? Why on earth are you not... like, this is the good news that we all need to hear. Right, that how you came, but don't gloss over it because it sounds like you're full of crap, right? Are you telling the truth, right? Tell them what you loved about that your binge watch, right? What stories really affected you? What your thought process? This is really what we need to hear, Ncuti, right? This is what we need to hear, Russell D Davies. We don't need to hear about Jinx fucking Monsoon. Oh, he's such a great shag. Oh, good for you, darling. Good for you. I want to hear about Ncuti Gatwa's process in putting together this performance, and that would excite me. You know, Matt Smith actually did something like that when they first announced him. It was Piers Wenger with a horrible cold, and he was saying, "Look, I'm doing my due diligence, and I get to build this time." And he watched every Doctor, right? And his Doctor essentially came from that, and the look came from Patrick Troughton. And I think it's really. Matt Smith remains one of my favourite Doctors. One of the greatest runs. Absolutely. Especially his first season, which was just magical. Absolutely magical. So, again, why don't we know? Why is this the first time I'm reading this? Right? I fell in love with it, him Hughes, and he means it. There's an undoubted special quality about Doctor Who that's hard to deny. You, when you watch it, you forget your troubles, says Gatwa. You go into space to another time. You have adventures. Well, I can't fucking do that if you got chicks with dicks on the screen 24/7. Why do I find your chicks with dicks distracting? Because chicks with dicks are fucking everywhere. Or like more people scream about chicks with fucking dicks, right? They're everywhere all the time. Oh no! I mean, we just saw the last story. Stop! Oh my god! Okay, do you think you might be being a bit of a drama queen? It sounds like it to me. So yeah, we'd love to go to space for another time, but but by having the trans thing 24/7 in this, you just hold us in this time, which I would like to get out of. Okay, a big part of the show's post-2005 story revolves around the Doctor having survived a devastating war that wiped out the rest of his people. Well, until, Capaldi, I guess. But it's this that Gatwa latched onto, because the storyline, he was able to see a reflection of his own life. As a child, Gatwa and his family fled Rwanda, escaping genocide from against the Tutsi minority, right? Well, okay. Look, the only people doing genocide are the minority, right? And I feel this is something very, very British, right? You know, people are like, well, he's not born English, he's not... No, I see that this was something that excited me at the beginning. I see this as being very, very British for 2023, 2024, right? Which is having somebody raised in Glasgow, was it Glasgow, Edinburgh? Raised in Scotland, who was a refugee from a country. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you go to London, I don't hear... last time I was in London was about, 5-6 years ago? I didn't hear any English accents anywhere. Like, everybody was European. It was weird, right? It was really strange, right? But again, that's a reflection of what Britain is. I think that's a reflection of the kind, caring heart of Britain, right? So for me, this sounded like an excellent representation of the country that it's coming from, right? So they said, this person survived a genocide. The person fits in everywhere and nowhere. I am the Doctor, right? The Doctor is me. I decided that I had to get this role. Well, I think your audition knocked out the park, actually. He's still trying to keep up with the pace of the career. The trajectory of his life has changed the last 5 years. With his major role in sex education, man, people love that. They love him in that. I saw it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And that was one thing. That was a very fast-moving train. I'm still trying to get to grips with what happened then. But now the train has gone turbo this past year. Yeah, his career is been knocked out the park. That sudden fame seems potentially scary. Well, yeah, I can agree with that. Actors pick jobs to hide behind a character, and now suddenly you're centre stage. People know where you went to school, so you have to focus on your job. The fame side can be distracting, he says. I imagine it is. It sounds kind of fun. He does seem to miss the smaller scale work that theatre afforded him. It kept me warm, and it held me all night, even if I was broke. But I'm planning on getting back to that next year after I finish season 2 of Doctor Who. So yeah, he just confirmed he has a second season. Gatwa stage roles are just as impressive as screen. In 2016, he was in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Favourite Shakespeare played on Globe. What's he playing? I love that it's all about fairies and lovers. Yeah, listen, mate, I saw your Romeo and Juliet scene. That wasn't very good. But it seems to be, you're big into fairies and lovers. And of course, so sexual. Why does everything have to be so fucking sexual? Right, things can be so sexual without you having to be explicitly sexual. Right? We give this to kids in school as you're worried about drag queens. Yes! Actually, I am worried about drag queens, right? Because drag isn't what it used to bloody be. Drag is children wearing heels, highly sexualized children, cross-dressing in heels and makeup in highly sexualized stripper clothes, gyrating in front of old men and taking money from them and putting them in their underwear. Right? That's what drag is now. If you look at what drag is now, you go, oh my God, that's disgusting. That's why they want us to keep telling you, oh no, it's not real. No, it's all QAnon conspiracy. But they can't say Fox News anymore because nobody watches Fox News, right? It's all a QAnon conspiracy. So yes, fucking moron, we are concerned about drag queens. And you know what? Here's my take on it. If just like if you're not black, you can't talk about racism, according to people like Ncuti Gatwa. If you don't have children, you can't talk about sexualizing of children, right? It means shut up about your drag queens, shut up about all of it, right? You want to have adult fun for adults in an adult environment. Good. Keep my fucking kids out of it. And I think that is the feeling of perhaps most of the world right now. Just keep our fucking kids out of it. There's a clear through line between that play and sex education. They're both ensembles that deal with sex relationships. I mean, really. Frolicking in the Forest. This was, generally speaking, PG-13, right? On a second meeting, fine, that was their first meeting. On the second meeting in London Soho a week later, they came across the drunk spectral form of Tom Baker, still there. It's somehow displaced in time from 1973, right? 75, I should say. Sex education, very frank, blah blah blah. Let's get sex education. Saying goodbye to the show, but I don't care. 31, I don't care. It's also given a ruder rating about the reality of work on TV. Being on it fast-tracked me into the downsides of this industry. Okay. I remember being told by an executive producer white people wouldn't understand my character. Eric, which incensed me, and there's an entire show for white people to understand. Okay, the producer was a prick, but why focus on white people or black people? Why not just do people? Let's stop worrying about your skin color so much. I think it's racist, right? I think you need to back off from that a lot, right? A lot. Gatwa clearly thinks hard about things like this. It can lead to him feeling conflicted. In a recent example, is when he took the Oscar performance at the King's coronation, partly because he felt a strong desire to be on stage instead of TV and film. I did feel unease about it, he admits, we're in a cost of living crisis because of your idiot politics. I mean, I assume. Certainly David Tennant's idiot politics. Remember when he said, oh, yeah, Trump was awful. Oh, so bad. We all had fucking money then, you fucking pricks. We had money and world peace. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, stupidity. I did feel uneasy about it, though. And I'm going to a giant house to perform. Plus, you know, the diamonds in that house, all that stuff was sitting with me. Then have some fucking principles then and say no. All right? But it was an opportunity to celebrate the arts, so fuck my principles, right? I wanted to celebrate the arts. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to do Shakespeare. Shooty, you didn't do it very well, okay? You didn't do it very well. Right? God, this looks so stupid. It didn't fill me with lots of hope, mate. Okay. Returning to the topic of religion, which I'm sure he knows a lot about, when asked if he considers himself religious, why would he? What? Gatwa seems a little uncomfortable with the question. I have faith, he says, before taking a long pause. I'm about to change the topic when he continues. I was raised in church. Both my parents are traditional Rwandan Christians. I love my upbringing very much. It was a big part of my identity. However, a long time ago, I fell out of love with it all. I still feel connected to something greater than us. Okay. Though I can't live without it. I have to believe something will save us from AI. Dude, your best chance of something to save you from AI is a global coming apocalypse, right? With the writer's strike, the producers in Hollywood, the studios have decided to let it just go on for months and months. They don't care, right? They could use ChatGPT. They're happy to have the pause in production, right? They survived it in COVID. They'll survive this, right? They don't care. And they want to wait till the members of the Writers' Union start losing their homes, right? And then they'll be in a stronger position to negotiate. You don't have a chance, mate. You genuinely don't have a chance. I get the sense that church offers continuity to young Gatwa, although Scotland is a place where Gatwa now identifies. It's a majority white country. What fucking difference? I grew up in England, right? It was a majority Christian country. I'm very Jewy, right? I'm very, very, very... What fucking difference? Right? And yeah, look, you did feel, experience some prejudice and racism against Jews, but not much. But it was very rare. I just think the British are good people, right? I do. There weren't many other black families when he was growing up, let alone Rwandan people, asylum seekers at that. That was isolating. I had to discover myself in a deep way. Everybody feels isolated. Oh, man, everybody feels that way. It's not just because you're black. Everybody has reasons why they feel isolated. Or they're dummies, and they don't, right? Not that there's a disconnect between me and the black and British community, because I am black and I am British, but there aren't many Rwandans. Certainly there weren't any in Scotland. Okay, church was how I found community. Again, and that's one of the good things of church, right? Church people can be the kindest people, and then they can be shockingly cruel. Well, that's true, I guess. These days, Gat was more interested. A bit of a new look on his costume. Now he's got a hat on. It's like, are they just like going, oh, we can do a 12 shooty set action figure? We can do like a 12 action figure shooty set and have them all the different costumes. It's so annoying, right? I really don't like the multiple costumes. It's more as in astrology, as with a lot of millennials. It offers structure during a particularly chaotic period in time. He's Libra sun. Gemini moon, and Scorpio rising. Okay, for those who want to know, I didn't really care. He has a co-star as well as other astrology app. Or he has co-star as well as astrology apps on his phone, and he checks it every single day. I mean, everyone needs something to have faith in, I guess. It probably filled a gap that religion left in me. I couldn't put my faith in an old book that had been used for so much evil. Really? Unlike the current trans kids movement, where it's not evil at all to cut a young boy's bollocks off. No, that's not evil. It helped me accept my own darkness and other people's darkness too. I had a very bad breakup. I ended up becoming homeless after it. People will probably think this sounds silly, but once the grieving was done, I found it's so sad. It's so sad that he got pushed away from religion, right? Because like 12-step programs, religions offers basically the same thing, right? There's a lot good that comes with it. I get it. There's some cunts, right? There's some abusive cunts. That doesn't detract from the fundamental wisdom of the worldview. I ended up becoming homeless after it. Once I found a safe home again, typing in respective star signs and seeing all these writings that describe me so accurately. What was the problem was between us. It led me to be able to forgive them. I understand their motives now. Look, I guess this is... I don't know if you're gay. I don't know who come out as being gay. You certainly seem it, right? You certainly... It's like, I will be surprised if you're not, right? It's... And obviously that puts you in conflict with the church, right? I'm reading between the lines. It sounds like something like that happened, right? I don't forget their actions, but I can forgive their motives. Maybe their motives were shitty, right? Maybe their motives were shitty. Maybe they're not, right? Before we make see him in debut as Doctor, he's going to be in Barbie. Again, is that going to do any good? I don't know. Fine, Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, blah, blah, blah. It became a meme that every actor in the business was either being drafted into Barbie or Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. I'm not that psyched about Oppenheimer. I'll see it. I like Christopher Nolan, but I'm not like, I like Mission Impossible. I'm psyched about. Yeah, no, I am really psyched about Mission Impossible. Gatwa may have been unsuccessful in the first auditions, but he clearly left an impression. Months later, he was contacted to Reeve for a different role. Must be the first audition he did for Barbie didn't go well. This sounds arrogant, he says, but my agent said that Greta hadn't been able to stop thinking about me. Well, okay, so I was asked back to audition for Ken, which was confusing because Ryan was Ken. When I got the scene for the second audition, though, things were clearer. I guess there's like multiple Kens, right? Yeah. But even then, he kept second guessing himself. He spent the rest of the day recording alternate line readings and sending them to his casting agent. Then he got word that Greta wanted to talk. I've gotten it down to the final two, so many times. He says. Then I meet the director, and I'm convinced there's something about me that just turns them off. Maybe there is. Maybe keep your chest in for once, like keep your shirt on. I was sure this would happen again. Okay, so we got the role, right? I've already felt I'm not masculine enough to play for whatever. He looked pretty masculine to me. But when they see that he trails off, okay, I'm bored. Magic Mike, I have no idea. Kendo, of course, playing Kendo couldn't be much further away from taking up the mantle of Doctor Who. Fine, we're back on Doctor Who. I'm very nervous. I have had lots of sleepless nights where I lie awake, feeling my heartbeat, he says, and then Russell sucks me off when I go to sleep. It's very hard to imagine the pressure he must suddenly be feeling, but it's understandable nonetheless. Doctor Who is a science fiction show that has run in some form or another off and on for 60 years. It's like it's so much. It's a nexus of British culture, like James Bond. The Doctor's character The Doctor character through which Britain learns to understand itself. Well, I did it with Jodie. We understood that like things had gone wrong. As much as the icon of our changing times was a fictional being, the show's connection to the British identity means a lot of tensions can be running high and be cruel at times, seemingly overprotective because they feel the show is somehow something they own. No, I don't think they own it. I just think you're going to fuck it up, even though I don't own it. I can have something that I don't own, and I can comment on you fucking it up, like Jodie Whittaker's casting. A lot of people said, oh, that's going to fuck it up, and they were right. Did they own it? No. Were they right? Yeah. Were they called bigots? Yes. Were they called bigots incorrectly? Yes. Right? To shut them up, to cry bully them? Yes, that's exactly what's going on. A lot of cry bullying going on. I'm the first black man to play the character. Well, you got Lenny Henry, but that wasn't very good in the sketch. The British can be very mean, he says. Nobody's gave a shit about your colour, mate. Very few people in my audience, even. Right? Nobody gave a shit. It's all the tranny stuff that's come on since then, and the weird decisions like, let's not have a costume. Let's just change each week. Right? None of this sounds good. You know what sounded good? You watching old Doctor Who and finding that you loved it. Why didn't we hear that story? No, we just got to hear about Jinx Monsoon losing a condom up her ass during sex. Really? How about a little bit about Doctor Who? Would that be nice? Just hear a teeny tiny bit about Doctor Who? You know, that might be good. You know, we that might be good for everyone. No. He said reaction to the casting. Nobody reacted badly. You're lying through your ass, right? I just remain steadfast in the face of criticism. I just had to remain focused on the job and stay true to what the Doctor is: a mad scientist alien who has adventures and cares about everyone. Well, I hope you care about everyone, right? Not just the people you think are worth caring about. Like, I hope you don't care about Democrats, right? Like David Tennant wearing that shirt said he clearly doesn't care about 80% of the world, right? He cares about his little bubble, all right? Schmuck that he is. Thankfully, the Doctor Who team are helping him handle the pressures, and they come with a new role. Russell T Davies has been amazing too. He claims he calms. He claims he's been amazing. He calms me down. He's such a. How do you calm him down, Russell? Or is that Shooty? Just the vibe I get, right? This is just the vibe I get. He calms me down. He's such an earth sign. Whatever. I can't get very anxious. I can get very anxious, but therapy helps. They've made sure that I put time aside for my sessions. Gatwa has also drawn support from past Doctors Peter Capaldi, David Tennant, Matt Smith in person. He ran into Smith at a party he'd been before he'd been announced for the role. He got a bit tipsy and said, "I'm following in your footsteps," he remarked to a baffled Smith, until Gatwa was officially confirmed as the new Doctor. Gatwa tells me that Tennant is set up a group chat where some of the previous actors stay in contact with each other, and they've offered to give Gatwa support and advice on dealing with the press. After all, the only people who really know what it's like to be the Doctor are people who have been the Doctor. Well, now the Doctor could be anybody, can't they? I mean, like, you know, there's been infinite Doctors, unless they retcon that away, which, man, that will do the show a whole lot of good. Once you're cast, you'll always be part of the show's long history. Don't say that to Jodie, darling. Not so much. The series will return to BBC One and Disney Plus and other territories, with 3 specials coming in November. And they're pushing Yasmin Finney, famous chick with dick, as a very important part of that now. Sorry to know, starring David Tennant, and once more, Gatwa's first episode will be a Christmas special set to air in December. Oh, God, let's go. Oh, we're nearly done. Fine. Right, Doctor Who is all about reinvention, and we. As actually, I don't think Doctor Who is always about change, but it is always about reinvention. I do agree with that, because Doctor Who is something that slips seamlessly, is a reflection of the cutting edge of the times that we live in, right? So I do agree with that. This bold reimagining, I'm really not worried. I don't like using the word reimagining. can be seen in the aesthetic interpretation of the offbeat time-traveling alien. Fashion might not be the first thing people associate with Doctor Who, but what the Doctor wears is an intrinsic part of the show. Yes! Tom Baker's long scarf, David Tennant's pinstripe suit are two things that people associate with it. But Gatwa's Doctor might be the first fashion-conscious one. The day Russell invited me to meet everybody, they asked what sort of costume I wanted, and I was shown a Ralph Lauren items that was in partnership with historically black colleges in America. I love those pieces. They're so preppy and so black. Okay, but then they asked me what else because they've been thinking of lots of outfits. I am not happy about that. Amongst almost a different one each week, which is new. I love it. I don't. The Doctor's. I mean, I'll wait and see what it's like. But I don't like it at all. Doctor has travelled all of time and space. They're going to have a sick wardrobe. Right, not that previous incarnations dressed badly. No, but they had a recognisable silhouette, right? I love John Pertwee, the third Doctor's outfits. Well, basically, he dressed the same as Jimi Hendrix. Lovely velvet jackets, frilly shirts. I feel a connection to him. Our Doctors are only two-thirds dressed like sluts. Man, don't say shit like that. I'm going to smack you upside the head. Not advocating violence, obviously. The idea of multiple outfits has led to a fun press cycle where Twitter regularly is treated to photo shoot with the new Doctor and companion and a completely new style each time. The most notable of these was the swinging 60s look, which looked darn good. Where he had a big afro, where Gatwa was sporting a blue striped suit and afro. The hair and makeup department have been incredible. Claire Williams, blah blah blah. Bella's old friend. Originally, we weren't going to have an afro, but Bella convinced me, and I'm very glad she did. Yeah, I actually like the afro a lot, right? I just wish stick to freaking like if you're wearing your like one costume and you had an afro added on, it was like how Tom Baker wore a deerstalker for Talons of Wen Chiang. Yeah, that would have actually been good, right? That would have been good. It's a statement. The Doctor is fucking black. Just get over it. Yeah, it's a mistake, right? It's a mistake to focus on skin color always, right? Because it's just virtue signaling, right? That's all it ever is. It's virtue bloody signaling. Speaking of which, let's talk more about David Tennant. David Tennant brutally roasts Alex Jones during the One Show interview. I hate to tell you, again, I think Alex Jones is entertaining. I wouldn't have called him a number one news source, but in the last few years, everything he said had come true, right? You know, when he said there was a cabal of pedophiles, of super rich, super wealthy, super connected, super powerful pedophiles. Well, that all came true, and with Jeffrey Epstein, Pedophile Island, right? There's a lot that he said has been completely on the nose. So, and he's not responding to Alex Jones. He's probably responding to what MSNBC told him Alex Jones says, because he's an insufferable prick, right? And David, mate, you don't have to be an insufferable prick, right? You don't have to be. Actor didn't hold back with response to a Doctor Who question. So what was the Doctor Who question? So it was aired on the One Show alongside Michael Sheen to promote Good Omens Season 2. Tennant and Sheen were interviewed about the new episodes to be released on July 28th, when the forthcoming Doctor Who return was addressed by host Jones and Jermaine Jenas. Right? Jenas told Tennant that Catherine Tate, who was returning alongside as Donna Noble for the 60th anniversary, was also recently on the One Show. We've spoken to her about it, and she said it was like slipping back into a comfy pair of slippers. Was it the same for you? They asked. So he said, yeah, I mean, 15 years is quite a long time, and you do worry you won't be able to run fast enough anymore. I think they could do something with special effects with that, maybe. Jonas then continued her surprise. The surprise at length of time has passed. They said, 15 years, it's not. It can't be. Yes, it is. You're a lot older than you think. Jones put her head in her hands as Genus, Sheen, and Tennant, fellow guests, Nicole Kidman and Zoe Saldana laughed. "That's depressing," Jones replied, while Kidman could be here saying, "Oh my God." Tennant previously said he wanted to play the character again before he got too old. So this is, am I thinking about Alex Jones? Yeah, I was thinking Alex. One second. Who's Alex Jones? Wait, Alex Jones. Yeah, that's what I think of as Alex Jones. Jones UK. Oh, it's that presenter. Well, that's a boring bloody story. She says it was never 15 years. Yeah, and he goes, yes, it was. That's a crushingly boring story, right? A crushingly boring story. Let's have a look at this story. This is actually something I might be interested in. The Ultimate Cyberman collection. Now, I didn't get the Ultimate Dalek collection because I have them all already. I had all the Dalek stories, apart from one, the backup story, Return of the Daleks. I'm like, it wasn't very good to start with. So now I'm doing something with the Cybermen. What stories are going to be in it? The book is a weighty volume covering all Cybermen strips from Doctor Who magazine, as well as the uncollected backup strips from Oh! Tell me more. Oh, 1 second. Do we have any more information about it here? So this is a final quest of Sontarans, Gallifreyans, Ogrons, Ice Warrior Cybermen. So this is probably going to be on there. Death World. Black Legacy, Alan. Oh, we're gonna get the Alan Moore strips. Oh man, yeah, because that invented Croton. But again, that was already in an Eighth Doctor collection. So it doesn't look like there's that many. Okay, there's 2. But wait, where's the one with Croton? The good cyber, the good the nice. I think it was Black Legacy, but he appeared in other stories, didn't he? Doctor Who magazine. Oh, collected editions. Let's have a look. Licensed by the BBC. Prose Audio Comic. Oh, one more thing. 1 second. It just says Cybermen. I actually just found it. After all that. Okay, show. The Cybermen. Aha! Is this it? No, so this is the one-page backup strip, which is fantastic. Oh, so I reckon that's good. Anyway, I don't know. When's it come out? September 1st? I need to know a little bit more, but this is something that I'm always certainly going to want to get, right? This sounds like really good. Better than the £34 though. Bloody hell. 380 pages isn't bad, but £34 seems a bit weighty. They better have something new on there that I don't already have. But there you go. There you go. Ncuti Gatwa speaks. Ncuti Gatwa speaks, and he didn't actually say absolute bollocks. He said good stuff. Why can't they be focusing on that? Why can't they be promoting that? David Tennant speaks and wears t-shirts, and he's just an insufferable dick. That's just what you get for David Tennant. I get David Tennant often likes to be an insufferable dick. So join me tomorrow, same bat time, or same Rabbi time, same Rabbi channels. That'll be Rumble, YouTube, and it's amazing. I still got keep my Rumble channel. Rumble, YouTube, Twitter. You'll find me on all the things. Look in the video notes, sign up my Substack, and have yourselves a freaking awesome day.